Pledge.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings we have. Thank you for such a wonderful community we live in. We want you to lay your hands on those who are wearing uniforms tonight to protect us and those all through the county and our wonderful country that are serving both here and overseas to protect us and our way of life. We're thankful for this beautiful weather we have, but we ask you to look out for those that may be affected by the hurricanes coming this way. We ask you to guide us tonight as we do the business of the people of our county. Make sure that we work together to do what is the best interest of all the citizens of Williamson County. And in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is so messed up. It does not.
So as we begin tonight, I'm just filling in until we get a chairman. I'm going to have Diane kind of walk so many of the new commissioners through the button system. We've also done an upgrade on the system that you have, and we've got some bugs we're working out, so there will be some changes tonight. So Diane, would you kind of talk them through the way that the system works, and then we'll do the roll call.
So one of the differences in the system tonight on your keypad, hopefully you will not have to, once you vote yes, no, or abstain, you no longer have to push your confirm button. So it's just yes, no, and abstain or request to speak. No need to push the confirm button. The present button is still the yes when Jamie gets ready to put the roll call up there. And we will have, we hope we got it fixed late this afternoon, but if we didn't, did you check that, Jamie? Hopefully you all will be able to read the screen. If not, because of the way it's displaying, we hope to have that fixed by the next meeting if it's not viewable this evening. But just yes, no, and no confirm.
So with that in mind, welcome all of the new and the ones that have been here before. We look forward to working with you, and I'll ask at this time, Jamie, if you would, to put up the roll call vote. Simply press your button if you're here. Keith, we're waiting on you. Mr. Jones has notified us by phone call that he would not be able to be here tonight. Jamie, would you record a vote, please? Clerk.
23 present, one absent. Commissioner Dwight Jones absent.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to go to the second page of your agenda. Tonight, you will be electing a chairperson along with a pro tem. I will be handling the chairperson. Once the chairperson is picked, I will step down from the desk and go to my seat. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the commission chairman for a one-year term beginning this month, carrying through to next year. Do I have a nomination? Second. Proper motion and second. Any others? You ready to vote on Mr. Tommy Little? All in favor? It's not loaded yet. Votes voted. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Mr. Little, you have been elected. If you would come up. Congratulations.
Roger, you come down, get his sign and move it over, please.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your vote of confidence. And at this time, we'll move on to the Chairman Pro Tem. We'll open the floor for nominations. We have a nomination and second. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome, Mr. Steve. At this point in time, I guess we're ready for approval of minutes. I had a question about the new commissioners on the minutes. Do they need to abstain or just approve?
It really doesn't matter.
Legal has said it doesn't matter. You can vote on the amendments or you can abstain however you feel you wish on the minutes. So at this point in time, for the approval of the minutes, entertain a motion.
Move to approval. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any additions or corrections? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is citizens' communications. Did we have any? We have one person signed up. If you would, please step up, state your name and address, and we have a 3-minute time limit. So, Chris Barnhill.
The name is Chris Barnhill, 3158 Brimstead Drive in Franklin Green. And I'm here to answer questions and to urge the commission to approve the agreement between the extension of the agreement between the Williamson County Ag Expo Center and Franktown Open Hearts. We're going to be doing a Christmas light show. You should have received a little card telling you about this. This is a drive-through Christmas light show to benefit an agency that works with the most at-risk kids in this county. They're in Franklin. This light show is very similar to the one they used to have up near Opryland, near the Opryland Hotel, a drive-through lights display in a little trailer park called Jellystone. What people don't know is before they lost their lease and moved to Wilson County Ag Center, they had 60,000 cars drive through that light show. It's a phenomenal attraction that will bring a lot of business, a lot of people here to come see it during the Christmas time between Thanksgiving and end of year. A lot of revenue will be generated for the Ag Expo Center and will be generated for the Ministry of Franktown as we work with these inner city kids. I'll be available to answer any questions you have about it, but we urge passage of that. We would like to have a 5-year lease with the Ag Expo Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have communications and messages. We have 2 late filed resolutions. They were in your packet. The first one is 9/18/41. It'd be the last thing under appropriations. And we have 9/18/42 will be the last one under other, unless there's any objections. Are there any objections to hearing those 2? Seeing none, they will be added on the agenda. Commissioner Bevan.
Mr. Chairman, make a request that one of our resolutions right now slated for the very end of the evening, the resolution pertaining to the gentleman who just spoke, Mr. Chris Barnhill from Franktown, that resolution being Resolution 9/1838. For him and his supporters that are with us tonight, might we move that resolution up to the beginning of the evening?
Okay, is there any objections to moving that up? Seeing none, we will hear that as the first order under new business. Next, we have 2 proclamations. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first proclamation we have is is for Constitution Week. You should have a copy of this in your packet that was mailed out to you tonight. I would like to read this, get it into the records, and then we'll let one of these ladies make comments. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September the 17th, 2018 marks the 251st anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitution Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition in this magnificent document and its memorial anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commensurate it. Whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuance of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September the 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. It's therefore that it resolved my signature by virtue of the authority invested in me as the mayor to hereby proclaim this week, September the 17th through the 23rd, 2018, as Constitution Week. And we ask all Williamson counties and our citizens to reaffirm the ideas that the framers of the Constitution had in its 1787 by protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through the guardian of our liberties. Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to invite everyone to the library this Sunday for a celebration for Constitution Week. It is going to be an old family ice cream social with story times and Martha Washington and some education for the kiddos about the Constitution. And so I would like to see everyone there. Thank you.
What's the time?
Thank you, ladies.
Lawrence, what's the time?
1-3.
That was 1 to 3 on Sunday at the library.
Mr. Chairman, the next proclamation we have, I'll ask Chad to step up. This is a proclamation for the National Voter Registration Day. The National Association of Secretaries of State have declared the month of September as National Voter Registration Month, and Tuesday, September the 25th, 2018 is National Voter Registration Day. It is important to remember the sacrifices of many Americans in the cause of suffrage and in their honor exercise their civic duty by participating in the electoral processes by voting. Whereas the citizens of Williamson County have consistently ranked in the top 3 counties in Tennessee for voter participation in the last several presidential elections, including the highest percentage of turnout among all the 95 counties in the state at 72.1% in the November of the 2016 contest. Whereas the state of Tennessee, along with 36 other states, offer an online voter registration system which will continue to improve the accuracy and the efficiency for voters and election officials by ensuring that there are fewer errors and more accurate voter rolls. Whereas over 7,000 new voters have registered to vote in this county in the first 6 months of 2018, this calendar year. So therefore, it be resolved that I, as the mayor of Williamson County, do hereby proclaim the entire month of September 2018 and shall be observed as the National Voter Registration Month, and that Tuesday, the 25th, shall be observed as National Voter Registration Day, and encourage all of the Williamson County residents and businesses and community organizations to join me in recognizing the importance of this privilege and the responsibility of voting. Chad?
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, on behalf of the 5-member Williamson County Election Commissioner, I am Chad Gray, the Administrator of Elections, and my staff. We're very appreciative of the support that the County Mayor and the County Commission has shown towards my office, our office, over the last few years as we transition to a new office next year. Thank you.
Next, we have report of county officers. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I'll ask Nina Graham to come up. Many of you know Nina, some of you may not. She is our budget director in charge of the activities that go on a day-by-day basis. She'll give you a snapshot of the different programs we've got. You should have in your packet all of the material that she'll be discussing tonight. If you have any questions, I'm sure she'll be glad to answer them. Nina?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. I do have several reports to go over with you in your packet this afternoon. I'm not sure what order they're in, so I'll just start with the budget report. For 6/30/2018, these were our final numbers after we closed our fiscal year end. And those are how each of our funds ended for the fiscal year. Also, you have your report for 7/31/2018, which is our budgets for each of the funds, and this is our startup for the beginning of the year. Also in your packet is the privilege tax report for the month of July. This month there was a little over 1.3 million collected. If you look at your graph, you can see how that compares to previous year's July collections. We have the Cool Springs Conference Center report for the month of June. We did share with the City of Franklin profits of $37,163. Also in your packet was a financial recap from the administration at the Cool Springs Conference Center. And your year-to-date report, how we finished up the 2017-18 fiscal year with a profit of $221,000. Also in your packet is the education impact fee report. You'll have the full year's previous balance for 6/30/18 and then each of the months going forward for our collections. We year-to-date have life to date, a little over $21 million. Also in your packet, there is a memo and an attached letter for the tax and revenue anticipation note. Also need this added into the minutes if we could get that recorded, that each year this provides working capital to the schools to allow them to work throughout the first 6 months or so of the year until the property tax collections start coming in. Also in your packet is the debt management policy. The State of Tennessee Department of State and Local Finance require that we give you a hard copy of this each year. So that is in your packet. I also need that entered into the minutes, please. That is all of my reports, unless anyone has any questions.
Are there any questions?
Oh, I'm sorry. We also did have a copy of your our debt book, and that is also on our website. Quite a bit of material in there. If you have any questions, please give me a call.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Nina. I just have two questions. I was just noticing on the letter from the State Comptroller's Office about the tax anticipation notes, there was a sentence in here that concerned me a little bit. It said that we didn't meet the condition of reporting, the time of our reporting to the Comptroller's Office. We were supposed to apparently report on our tax anticipation notes by June 30th, and the county did not meet this condition. Why didn't we meet our those conditions?
We just failed to get that turned in before the end of the fiscal year. So each year, once the notes are paid off, we do have to send a copy of that to that department.
When did we get it to them?
I think in July.
Okay. So there's no penalty for that? All right. That was my concern, is that we might end up getting some kind of penalty for not reporting on time. Okay. Also, I hadn't had a chance to look at the debt report, but where are we right now on debt, total debt for the county?
The total debt as of June 30 was $666 million.
Okay. You have any idea where we might be this time next year? I know we're going to vote on $76 million tonight.
So our current total debt is $666 million. And as you all know, we tend to really focus on our net debt, and that is $625,670,000. If we make all of our principal payments, which we should throughout the year, that would bring us to a little over $582 million for net debt. So, as you said, we do have an initial resolution coming up that is for non-school projects. And as you're aware, and the new commissioners, as they will see in October, there were several other resolutions approved with that. So the total bond amount would be a little over $118 million. Also, in October, there are going to be 3 additional requests for schools on intent to funds, which will be able to roll into the bond as well.
Okay. So you think we might be around $700 million at the end of the fiscal year then, or more?
Yes, with our net debt, well, it'd be a little over $693 million.
Okay. We've talked about this before, but for the benefit of some of the new commissioners here, what about, could you just briefly talk a little bit about the bond ratings and why it's important to keep a bond rating of AAA? And one of the concerns that we've had in the past is, how do we know when we're getting close to possibly losing our AAA bond rating, and why that's important to protect that?
So the AAA rating, we have a AAA rating with Moody's rating agency, and your rating is kind of like your debt report. So when you have the AAA, you can save when you borrow funds and get the lower interest rates. Currently, we have a little over $40 billion in appraised property values. So there is capacity for quite a bit more debt. There is no magic number for our county before we may lose that. As you've heard our financial advisor talk about, that it's a rating agency term. There's a willingness to pay and an ability to pay. So the county certainly has the ability to pay, but it's how we choose to our plan to pay for that as we move forward.
Okay. Thank you, Nina. I don't have any more questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Nina.
Mr. Chairman, I have 2 other items if I could. Bill Jorgensen is in the back, and I'm going to ask him to come up and give you a snapshot of the requests that we have had made because of the significant weather that is occurring out in the Atlantic Ocean, and he'll give you an overview of that for the different participants that we have here in our county.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I think it was Saturday we received a request from South Carolina, the state of Tennessee, for 12 swiftwater rescue teams to move into South Carolina. Tennessee is going to provide 9 of those teams. 2 of those 9 teams are coming from Williamson County, and they're comprised of folks from Franklin Fire Department, Brentwood Fire Department, Franklin Police Department, and the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. We're also sending a 9-member support team to support those 9 swiftwater teams. 4 of those individuals are coming from Williamson County. Chief Glenn Johnson from the Franklin Fire Department will be leading that. We also have a planner going from emergency management, and then also communications and IT support. We got 3 folks going, 1 from emergency management and then 2 from the city of Brentwood. and they've been packing up and getting ready to go since Sunday. Right now, it looks like they're going to head out Wednesday morning, and they'll be heading to unknown location in South Carolina, and they'll be gone from 9 to 12 days and have to totally support themselves at this point in time, because they don't know where they're going or what they're going to get into, and that could change. Usually how this happens is you get on the road and you start heading there, and it changes while you're en route to your final destination. So that's what's going on now, and looking out at Hurricane Isaac, we're looking at a Wave 2 deployment for that, so there will probably be more requests coming from Gulf Coast states for help with what they've going on. Something to note here is we're not cleaning out the whole state of swiftwater rescue teams, because the state of Tennessee could see some of this hurricane, so they're only pulling one swiftwater team from East Tennessee. All the other swiftwater teams are staying in place in East Tennessee. Most of these swiftwater teams are coming from Middle Tennessee to go to South Carolina. Any questions? Thank you.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that all of you put on your calendar for our October County Commission meeting here in this room at 5:30. We will have an active shooter training that will be conducted by Sheriff Jeff Long. If you're interested in knowing the procedures for that, it will be at 5:30 here in this commission room to go over the procedures. At that meeting, we will not allowing the press nor the public to come in to this meeting. I think you can understand that. The information that will be given to you and the procedures will be subject for you and your safety. And so we will not be allowing the public to come in here during that period of time. According to legal, we can do that. Is that correct, Bobby? So at 5:30, I'm not sure what date that is. I did not write that down. It's the county commission meeting in October. When is it? One of you? The 8th? October the 8th at 5:30. Mr. Chairman, that concludes everything that I plan to say.
Are there any questions of the mayor? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Schools? Jason here, I believe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the month of the year when Dr. Looney is in his annual meetings with school superintendents from across the state, so I'm standing in for him tonight. Did want to let you know that we've just hit our 1 month point for schools being open this year, and our total student number as of this past Friday, the 7th, was 40,432 students pre-K through 12, and that includes early childhood as well, students with special needs age 3 and 4. We are 1,108 over last year this time. We had projected 1,259, and the majority of that gap is actually kindergarten students, we've noticed, and that's actually been a trend for us. This is the second straight year on kindergarten, which is the most difficult grade level to project because they haven't been in school, obviously, prior to that year. So we're actually going to go back and do some birth records checks over the past few years and see if that can give us a little bit of insight into next year on that. It's not going to be perfect, obviously, because we have a lot of move-ins, but I want to let you all know that. Next thing I wanted to mention to you is, before many of you, is a pass for Williamson County Schools events, athletics, arts, and other events. And we have a photo ID for you. If you don't have one in front of you, it's because our communications department does not yet have a photo of you. So I'm going to invite you, if you would, send us any kind of photo electronically, and we'll make sure that you have a pass if you don't have one yet. That pass allows a commissioner and one guest to come to any of our events that we're charging for. And I think many of you know that our boosters and our gate are largely the entities that fund the operational expenses for extracurricular activities. And more specifically, last year we had about $6 million in PTO support. total for the county. You all have done an unbelievable job these last few years on capital help for us with our facilities, and I do want to thank you for that. But I felt like it was important to mention that our boosters really help support our students as well. Next thing I wanted to mention, the last thing, we do have a couple items on your agenda. One's on the consent agenda. It's an easement where we are working with Parks and Rec for a sewer improvement to Trinity Elementary School, and they're allowing us onto their property for an easement, so it's going to help us. We're also going to help serve the Fly Park system as well through that agreement. Final item you'll have to vote on is a lease purchase agreement for some of our very top-of-the-line complex computers that our career and technical programs use for drafting classes. And that's my report.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other commissions wishing to make committees wishing to make a report at this time? Seeing none. I was going to say if Paul, because Dwight was going to make an announcement about the TCCA meeting coming up.
TCCA meeting, the County Commissioners Association will meet at Henry Horton State Park on September 20th. Dwight sometimes will take a county vehicle if anybody wants to carpool down there, get with Dwight. This is a good opportunity to meet the Executive Director, Charles Curtis, who's been in the legislature, find out what's going on statewide, and learn some of your county commissioners from around our area to find out what issues they're facing. That's the 20th of September, and let Diane know if you want to go, because they would like us to have reservations. It's at Henry Horton State Park. The 20th, I believe it starts at 6:30. Is that right? 6:30 p.m.?
5:30 registrations, meals at 6.
And it's a buffet meal at the State Park, which is a pretty good thing.
So you do need to RSVP to Diane. So, are there any other? Yes.
That it's not in. No.
We've been trying to find it. So. All right. There's no other reports. Next is elections and appointments. At this time, we have the Budget Committee. These are committees that are selected by the mayor. Budget Committee would be Steve Smith, Chairman, Beth Lothers, Jennifer Mason, Matt Williams, and Rogers Anderson. Will entertain a motion.
So moved.
This voice vote. Okay. Webb the motion, Osbrooks the second. We can voice vote this one, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is purchasing and insurance. We have Dana Osbrooks, Chaz Morton, Jerry Rainey, Paul Webb, Rogers Anderson. Entertain a motion. Steve Smith's the motion and Chalfant the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Ethics Committee. Terms expiring, Lou Green, nomination Beth Lothers. Term expiring Jack Walton, nomination Paul Webb. Term expiring Ricky Jones, nomination Ricky Jones. Term expiring Sadie Wade, nomination Brad Coleman. Term expiring Rick Berger, nomination Rick Berger. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Osbrooks the motion and Herbert the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Planning Commission, vacancy, the nomination is Beth Lothers. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Commissioner Webb the second, Commissioner Jones, Webb the motion, Commissioner Jones the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We've already done Chairman, Chairman Pro Temp. Disciplinary Review Board. There's a vacancy. The nomination is Robert Woody Woodside. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Webb the motion, Commissioner Hester the second. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. There's a correction to the hospital board. The actual nomination sheet was correct, but there's a typo on the agenda. The hospital board is for districts 10 and 11. The nomination is, there's a vacancy. The nomination is David Landrum. We'll entertain. Okay, Commissioner Chalfant the motion, Commissioner Osbrooks the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Library Board of Trustees, filling a unexpired term. Nomination is Paul Webb. Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Osbrooks the motion and Commissioner Herbert the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. At this point in time, we will now have take a slight recess for selection of the for the rotating committees. I couldn't get the term out. And for the new commissioners, we have paired districts, and these were in your packet. Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 4 committees. In the 4 years of your term, you will serve on one of these committees. You will not serve on any one twice in that 4-year term. So at this point in time, we will adjourn for you to meet. Recess, excuse me. Recess to meet as a group with your commissioners and decide who would like to be. We ask that you pick a spokesperson for your group, and then we will call on these and vote on them. Do we have any questions on the process before we get started? Okay, we'll do a 5-minute recess.
Ready to call this meeting back to order. A brief announcement before we start. If you have not turned in your form to Jeff about how you wish to receive your packet, if you could do so right quick, we'll get that out of the way. Pass them, yeah, hold, yeah. Here she comes. Okay. All right. So we hope each group has elected a spokesperson. When we call out the committee, if you would, we just call out who your person is, and then we will vote on it as a whole.
In the first and second district, the rules committee is Ricky Jones.
We're only going to do rules. We're going to do one at a time. So Ricky Jones for rules. 3 and 4.
The rules committee for 3 and 4 will be Chad Story.
Turn the mic off.
I don't know who the spokesperson is.
So that was Chad Story for 3 and 4. Districts 5, 6.
Will be Tommy Little.
Tommy Little for 5 and 6. 7, 8.
Tom Tunnicliffe.
That is Tom Tunnicliffe for 7, 8. 9, 10. Robbie Beal for 9 and 10. 11 and 12. Steve Smith. Yes.
I made an error. It's the other Jones on the Rules Committee. Please excuse me. It's Dwight Jones. Thank you.
Change that to Dwight Jones. So, the Rules Committee will be Dwight Jones, Chad Story, Tommy Little, Tom Tunnicliffe, Robbie Beal, Steve Smith. We'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Lother's the motion, Commissioner Webb the second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Steering Committee, Districts 1 and 2.
Our nomination is Ricky Jones.
Ricky Jones for 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is Jennifer Mason. 5 and 6
Paul Webb.
is Paul Webb. 7, 8
Barb Sturgeon.
is Barb Sturgeon. 9, 10 Matt Williams. And 11, 12 Sean Aiello. Okay, so the Steering Committee, we have Ricky Jones, Jennifer Mason, Paul Webb, Barb Sturgeon, Matt Williams, Sean Aiello. Entertain a motion. Osbrook's the motion, Jones the second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
This afternoon, staff and I looked at our calendars and what committee meetings were already scheduled. And if the members of the steering committee could go ahead and mark your calendars for Thursday, the 20th of September at 5:30, and let us know if you can attend that evening. We're trying to schedule that in when there's not a conflict. Yes, it is. So Chaz is not on that. Chad is not on that, and Judy is. None of the steering committee members have signed up to go.
Okay.
And you wanted to tell them what they were doing, what they will be doing.
Yes, the steering committee is actually the ones that'll make the committee appointments for the year. So if you have a request, if you would get your request either to Diane. She's got a list going, or you can talk to tell your commissioner that's on your shared committee or rotating committee. Again, we will make these appointments at our October meeting. We had some discussion. The committees will meet in October, and we do have enough members elected to all the committees that if everybody shows up, we will have quorums. We have had some issue with getting quorums for meetings. So I will make a request that everyone this month, since we have not appointed full committees, to please make the effort to make your committee. Moving on to Human Resources. District 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. 7, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. So for the Human Resources Committee, we have Betsy Hester, Greg Lawrence, Aaron Nations, Bert Chalfant, David Landrum, Dana Osbrooks. Entertain a motion. Commissioner Webb, the motion. Commissioner Smith, the second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So Human Resources does already have business to come before you all at your first meeting that will be considered at the October County Commission meeting. Because these two resolutions also are to be voted on by Law Enforcement Committee, the HR Committee regularly scheduled meetings are on the third Mondays, and the Law Enforcement is on the third Tuesday. And we were going to ask if we could have a joint Human Resources with the Law Enforcement Committee so that HR could vote on the two resolutions, and then they can be adjourned and Law Enforcement can go on with the rest of their resolutions. So the first HR Committee meeting, if it works for everyone, is set for September the 18th at 5:30 p.m. And that would be a joint meeting with Law Enforcement until you finish those two resolutions. And then the HR Committee would adjourn and Law Enforcement would continue to meet.
Any questions? All right. Last we have Parks and Recreation, 1 and 2.
Judy Harper.
3 and 4. 5 and 6. 7, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. So Parks and Recreation will be Judy Herbert, Keith Hudson, Beth Lothers, Jerry Rainey, Chaz Morton, Brian Bethard. Entertain a motion. Commissioner Osbrooks, the motion. Commissioner Williams, the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have our rotating committees. Next, we have our consent agenda. There are 2 resolutions and the notaries that are on our consent agenda, and we'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval. Second.
Commissioner Webb, the motion. Commissioner Smith, the second. We load this one, don't we? This is loaded on your on the board. So if you're in favor, press yes. If you're opposed, record the vote.
Matt is voting still.
Oh, Matt is, whoops, Matt, yours. It had you a second ago. Try again. Okay. Record the vote.
23 yes, 0 no.
1 abstention?
No, it says 1 absent.
1 absent. Oh, okay, that's absent. Okay, 23. Okay, all right. All right,
Yes,
thank
new
you.
system.
New board, like I said. Resolution passes. Agenda passes. Next, we have, moving up, Resolution 9-18-38. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a license agreement and rider with Franktown Open Hearts. Commissioner Sturgeon? There was Commissioner Sturgeon, the resolution motion, and Commissioner Beathard the second. Property Committee?
4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
Yeah, this is the resolution for Franktown, who wants to use, well, they're a nonprofit organization, and they would like to use space at the Ag Park so that they could put on a Santa's Village and the light show that our speaker mentioned.
Okay. Are there any questions? We have both him from Franktown and we're here. We have any questions? All right. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Comprehensive Land Use Plan, revenues to come from unappropriated county fund balance. Commissioner Webb? Second. Commissioner Herbert the second. It won't reach. Okay. Highway Commission. Highway, oh, I've got that. 3-4-2 against. Regional Planning Commission was 8-4-0 against. Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Okay, explanation.
This is the Planning Commission is already doing a land use survey, and this will add the component of $30,000 to look at funding for traffic, land use update, part of that, and how to pay for traffic improvements. And we have staff here if anybody has any questions.
Are there any questions on the resolution? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed? Resolution passes. If you're wondering why I ask if you wish to change your vote, that is part of our rules that we have to ask that before we record the vote. So, for you new commissioners. Resolution 9-18-4. An initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $76,650,000 of general obligation bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee. Commissioner Webb? Second. Commissioner Webb the motion. Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
As you can see, this $76,650,000 of general obligation bonds, and the resolution shows the projects that the bond funds will be used for.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button, your no button. Commissioner. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 1 no.
Okay. Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-5. Resolution appropriating $62,371.39 to the 21st District Drug Court Incorporated, revenues to come from dedicated account. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrook the second. Law enforcement, public safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
These are funds from fees that are dedicated to services provided by the drug court, counseling, those sorts of things.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed? Excuse me. Mr. Story? Okay. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-6, resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Williamson County General Sessions DUI Court budget by $70,800.22. Revenues to come from donations and unappropriated county general fund balance. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Lathers the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
These are providing for funds for services provided through the DUI court under general sessions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. The resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-7. Resolution appropriating $36,584.66 to the 21st District Drug Court Incorporated, revenues to come from DUI fines. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
These are funds from DUI fines that go to support the services provided by the 21st District Drug Court.
Are there any questions? Yes, Commissioner Morton.
I know a couple of years ago the drug court, I believe, changed its name to the 21st Recovery Court. Do we need to amend or correct that here in any way? Thank you.
It'll be right from now on.
Wait a minute, let me push my button. There we go.
Go ahead. Ms. Mason.
My understanding is the recovery court, Commissioner Morton, is out of circuit court. The DUI, well, is this the circuit or general sessions drug? Circuit. Okay, never mind. Withdraw.
Any other attorney you want to talk?
All right. Any other questions? Not, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Commissioner Lathers. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-9, resolution amending the 2018-19 General Sessions Veteran Court budget by $64,330.24. Revenues to come from federal through state grant funds. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
All right. Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
This is for grant funds, federal through state grant funds for services provided by the Veterans Court. You see those listed there. This is previous grant money that was not used in the prior year that needs to be carried forward to this year's budget.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-10. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 juvenile services budget by $1,880.75, revenues to come from grant funds. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Herbert, the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Again, these are unexpended grant funds from a previous year that need to be carried forward for the juvenile court, providing mediation services and legal clinic.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-11. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 juvenile services budget by $23,060.83. Revenues to come from federal through state grant funds. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Herbert, the second. Law Enforcement and Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Again, this is a prior year grant with no matching funds from the Governor's Highway Safety Program for the juvenile court to provide substance abuse services through the court.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-12. Resolution amending the 2018-19 General Sessions Veteran Court budget by $116,334 and authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to sign a contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, revenues to come from federal grant through state grant funds. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Chalfant, the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
These are grant funds provided through the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for Veterans Treatment Court, and 1-year grant. It does continue funding for positions that are already in existence.
Any questions on this resolution? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-13. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 General Sessions Veteran Court budget by $8,000, revenues to come from veteran court reserves. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Chalfant, the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
There's a $55 fee, court fee assessed to people in violation of the Tennessee Drug Control Act. There was some unexpended funds from the prior year, and this is bringing those forward for use in the current year.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-16. Resolution authorizing the county mayor to enter into a 2018-19 contractual agreement with the state of Tennessee for $1,187,000 for local health services and appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Health Department budget. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second. Second.
I didn't hear the
Second.
Thank you. I've gone. Commissioner Lawrence, a second. Excuse me. The name wouldn't come to me. Public Health Committee, did they meet?
Did not meet.
Okay. Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
As you can see, this is a revision of the previous grant. The county is not required to contribute any funds. The services are for rural health from the state of Tennessee. This is a carry forward.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-17. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Health Department budget by $329.80, revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Hester, the second. Public Health Committee didn't meet. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
As you can see, this is a carry forward grant of $329 of the unexpended fund balance from the prior fiscal year. Funds will be used to provide child safety seats.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-18. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-2019 Health Department budget by $13,332.65, revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Chalfant, the second. Public Health didn't meet. So Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
As you can see, this is another carry forward from the state grant funds of $13,332.65. This is to be used to address prevention initiatives, primarily secondhand smoke, how it affects children, as well as pregnant women and targeting middle school folks. Again, this is a carry forward of previous grant money.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-19. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an agreement with the State Department of Health and appropriating and amending the 2018-2019 Health Department budget by $1,724.15, revenues to come from grant funding. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Hester, the second. Public Health did meet. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
This is another carry forward to basically help people go out and have fun at the playgrounds. No match money is required.
Are there any questions? All right, hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-20. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Health Department budget by $1,930.16. Revenues to come from state grant funding. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Law, there's the second. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
This is a new grant from the state for the first quarter of this fiscal year, and this also will be used to provide child safety seats or other appropriate restraint devices.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-21. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 animal care budget by $12,702.01. Revenues to come from unappropriated county general fund balance. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
This primarily taking funds from the fund balance to purchase a dart trailer and equip it with data processing equipment. And with the hurricanes coming, this is the kind of trailer that we'll need in case we have flooding here in this general area.
I got ahead of myself. It was Commissioner Webb with the motion. Who had the second? Commissioner Herbert the second. So, okay. Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-22. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Parks and Recreation budget by $8,200. Revenues to come from donations received from the College Grove Recreation Association. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Herbert the second. Parks and Rec Committee?
Parks and Rec did not meet.
Didn't meet. Okay. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Okay. Explanation.
This is the College Grove Recreation Association is making a donation to the Parks and Rec for the use of their fields and facilities.
Sir, are there any questions? Commissioner Hester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to thank the College Grove Recreation Association for their willingness to cooperate and their generosity with this money. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-26. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Sheriff's Office budget by $40,000 for the purchase of tactical equipment, revenues to come from reserve account. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Law, there's the second. Law Enforcement Committee?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee,
3-4-0 against.
explanation, please.
There are funds available in this reserve account provided for by a $25 increase to the litigation tax that we approved some time ago. The sheriff needs that to provide equipment for courtroom security.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-27. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 assessor's budget by $8,169.18 for educational incentive salary supplements, revenues to come from state funds. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
This is money that
Take a
comes from
second
the
again.
state for salary supplements to those in the assessor's office who have met certain guidelines. This money has been received and deposited into the county's treasurer.
I don't think I got the second on the motion. Commissioner Herbert, the second. I'm rushing through, excuse me. All right, explanation was given. So any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-28. Resolution amending the 2018-19 capital projects budget by $83,486 for courtroom upgrades at the historic courthouse, revenues to come from reserve litigation tax account. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
You see that there's a reserve account from litigation tax where money is available for this kind of project. We need to do some upgrades to the courtroom at the historic courthouse to provide for additional volumes.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button, and opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-30. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Health Department budget by $5,250. Revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Herbert the second. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is a grant, does not require any match. This is where the county health departments collaborated with the University of Tennessee Extension Office and the city of Fairview. They've earned the Governor's Healthier Initiative Award, and they're going to use this money to help folks do some exercise and learn about not using tobacco.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-31. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with the City of Brentwood concerning the cost to construct a splash pad and amend the capital project's revenue to come from donations. Commissioner Sturgeon?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Webb the second. Property Committee?
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Yeah, this is regarding the indoor sports complex on Heritage Way in Brentwood. And the city of Brentwood would like to see a splash pad added to that renovation, which is in the planning stages right now. And so the city is willing to donate $1.5 million, which will take care of the cost of the splash pad.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-33. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 animal control budget by $4,850. Revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Webb.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Herbert, the second. Public Health Committee didn't meet, so Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Health to the county for neutering and spaying by our animal control folks.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Resolution 9-18-34. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 library budget by $66,495.83. Revenues to come from donations, contributions, and fines. Commissioner Webb.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Jones the second. Library Board.
6-4-0 against.
And Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
As you can see, this is from donations from various organizations and municipalities, as well as fines. And we have a list here where the expenditures will be used for internet, books, media, supplies, and various gifts.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-35. Resolution correcting the inadvertent reversal of numbers in Resolution 7-18-5 and 7-18-6 regarding the appropriation of funds needed in the general and rural debt service funds for the 2018-19 fiscal year. Commissioner Webb.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Herbert the second. Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation.
Ms. Graham is here if somebody has questions. Basically, this is to correct an error just in the way the numbers were put down for us in our budget meeting in July. This corrects that error.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Record the vote, please. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Now record the vote.
23 yes, 0 no.
Okay, Resolution 9-18-41. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Williamson County General Sessions DUI Court budget by $90,227.46 for the DUI programs, revenue to come from federal grant funds. Commissioner Webb.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Jones the second. Law Enforcement Public Safety.
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee,
3-4-0 against.
explanation, please.
As you can see, this is a grant for $975,000, which is paid in 3 annual installments. The $90,227.46 was not exhausted in the last fiscal year, so we're amending the budget to accept this money and use it, the $90,000.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Commissioner Rainey. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-1, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to certify compliance with all applicable federal statutes, regulations, policies, guidelines, and requirements as a prerequisite to file a grant application. Commissioner Smith.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Hester the second. Law Enforcement.
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Well, we're applying for a grant, and this requires the mayor to put his neck on the chopping block to certify that we're compliant in order to apply for the grant.
Wonderful government. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Commissioner Smith. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-3, resolution approving lease purchase agreement for drafting computers to use in CTE department. Commissioner Osbrooks.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Smith the second. School board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee didn't meet. Budget Committee
3-4-0 against.
explanation, please.
If I could defer to Commissioner Beathard.
Again, the Education Committee didn't meet. I'm not sure if I should defer this as
No,
well.
We heard about it, so go ahead.
Okay.
So you can explain it.
This would be a lease purchase agreement for drafting computers, which the school is needing. We did not have a quorum in the Education Committee, and so we did not get a chance to vote on it.
Mr. Golden is here if there are any other questions. Do we have any questions? I think he's still back there. All right. Commissioner Sturgeon.
Just for fun, would you press your button, because I'm checking all this stuff, not your mic.
You've got a check mark up there.
I know that's because I just turned that
Oh.
on.
That
So
take
now
care of
it's
it?
2. Yes.
New system getting used to. Go ahead, please.
I just think it'd be nice, Mr. Golden, if you could just explain it for the record. Thank you.
Sure,
It's been a while since we talked about it.
It is now.
Sure, Madam Commissioner. We have a number of processes that we use to purchase computers. Traditionally, we go through the capital process for most of our computers. These computers are a lot more specialized, and they tend to change more quickly over time because it is the most advanced drafting computers that we're using, where we're trying to get students to take courses that will ultimately lead to certifications in some high-tech areas. And so through our career tech budgeting program, we actually budget for that operationally so that we can transition computers more quickly than we traditionally do through the capital process.
So these computers are being paid through the operational?
That's correct. Now, as I understand it from the attorneys for the county, and we've actually reviewed that as well, because it includes a contractual commitment beyond 1 year, it requires commission approval as well.
Thanks. Thank you for the explanation.
Any other questions? All right, go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
How many computers are we talking about?
It's funny, Commissioner, you asked that, because Leslie Holman and I were both asking ourselves, what if they asked that? We're trying to remember. We're trying to remember the number, and we've lost it. I can tell you that there are some of those computers going to be used in every school.
Okay.
And so I know from your experience from a career tech, yeah. I can't give you a ballpark, but it's a significant number for our high schools.
Okay.
Commissioner Story?
Real quick, in the Budget Committee meeting, I think the lease, if you write out the entire term of the lease, it would turn into county computers, correct?
It has the potential to, yes.
Okay, so it's
yes.
Whatever the prorated amount of value left?
That's correct.
Okay.
And what we do with each of those is we evaluate the technological changes since the time we purchased it and make a determination whether it's worth it to purchase them at that time.
Any? All right.
It actually states in the resolution that they become the property of the board at the end of the lease.
I think there's a small fee actually, the way that's listed in the actual agreement.
And that can be addressed.
Yes.
At the end.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes.
His mic is on, but it's not.
Resolution 9-18-8, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute an interlocal agreement with the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Commissioner Smith.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrook the second. Law Enforcement and Public Safety.
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is a grant received by Metro that we are participating in. This comes through the state of Tennessee. It's for the Internet Crimes Against Children agencies, and with this intergovernmental agreement we get our portion of the grant that was provided to Metro.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your... Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-14. Resolution declaring certain Highway Department property and equipment surplus property and authorizing the sale of the property and equipment at auction. Commissioner Sturgeon?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Lathers the second. Highway Commission was 5-4-0 against. Property Committee?
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Yeah, this is highway property that's ready for retirement, so we're going to surplus it so it can be sold at auction.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-15. Resolution declaring certain county-owned property and equipment surplus property and authorizing the sale of property and equipment. Commissioner Sturgeon?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Lawrence the second. Property Committee?
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Yeah, this resolution is just like the last one, but instead of highway equipment, it's general county equipment.
I had a question to ask council to explain about who's eligible and who's not eligible?
But the main point being that because this is county property that's being sold, it would be considered a conflict for commissioners to bid on this, so you're not eligible to bid on surplus property that's being auctioned off.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-23. Resolution declaring certain county-owned shotgun parts surplus to be disposed. Commissioner Sturgeon.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Lawrence, the second. Law Enforcement and Public Safety.
4 yes, 0 no.
Property Committee.
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Yeah, this is surplusing shotgun parts that are no longer needed.
Okay, any questions? Okay, Commissioner Nations.
Push the button.
Right, but just pull your mic down and ask.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are the parts sold or disposed of in another way?
I'd like to ask the sheriff if he would come up and... Okay, all right, Dusty's gonna...
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, these parts will be destroyed. We'll either burn them or grind them up.
Okay, they have no value.
No, they're the forearms and the butts of some old shotguns.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Keith? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-24. Resolution to surplus and approve the conveyance of a German Shepherd and former canine officer to his previous handler. Commissioner Sturgeon.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Smith, the second. Law Enforcement, Public Safety.
4 yes, 0 no.
Property Committee.
4 yes, 0 against.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Yeah, this resolution is regarding a 11-year-old German Shepherd named Lexer, who is a canine officer that retired in 2016, and it's conveying ownership over to Deputy Mike Grandy.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-25. Resolution declaring certain county-owned Nikon 35mm digital camera surplus to be disposed of in accordance with applicable law. Commissioner Smith.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrook's the second. Law Enforcement, Public Safety.
4 yes, 0 no.
Property Committee.
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee.
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
Just 3 cameras that are old and not reliable, need to be surplus.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Okay. Commissioner Nations, Commissioner Hart. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-29. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a grant agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Health for the provision of dental services at the Williamson County Health Department in an amount not to exceed $175,800. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
These are grant funds from Tennessee Department of Health for provision of dental services. Doesn't require matching funds. Ask for your approval.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Commissioner Rainey? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-32. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a lease agreement with the Gentry Education Foundation for office space in the County Community Services Building. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Nations the second. Property Committee?
We didn't, oh, sorry. 4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is using unused space in the County Community Services Building for this Gentry's Educational Foundation.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-36. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a lease agreement with Nexos of America Incorporated. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Hester the second. Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is an extension of a lease with an entity, Nexos, that has already been leasing from us for quite a few years, and they asked for a term not to exceed 1 year to continue that lease.
Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 9-18-37. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an interlocal agreement with the City of Brentwood, the City of Franklin, and the Williamson County Emergency Communications District concerning the continued payment and reimbursement for a county-wide notification system. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrooks the second. Law Enforcement and Public Safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget Committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is a continuation of agreement between Franklin, Brentwood, and our Emergency Communications District to provide for and pay for a countywide notification system.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Late filed resolution number 9-18-42. Resolution declaring certain Williamson County owned handguns surplus and authorizing the sheriff's office to exchange the handguns with a licensed and qualified law enforcement weapons dealer for new handguns. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Lawrence is second. Law enforcement, public safety?
4 yes, 0 no.
Budget committee?
3-4-0 against.
Explanation, please.
This is for the sheriff's office to trade these .40 caliber guns in for a new weapon, 9mm, the Glock 9mm. And I believe Dusty is here, and the sheriff is here if we have any questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. I believe that takes care of all the items on our agenda. Does anybody have any other announcements or questions? I will make one statement that I will be out of town next week, so next month, so Commissioner Smith will have to preside at next month's meeting. That we have a family trip planned. But who else had a question? Let me.
Self-defense courses are going to be offered. I have a daughter who just went to college, and I think those are terrific, and I would love to really promote those for my community.
I will get the schedule in the morning and have my assistants call you and let you know.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. Appreciate it. Those are great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Has everybody? All right. Commissioner Mason.
It's more on the new system. On the old system, it would put up who was first, second, third to speak, and we could all see that. Does that system allow us to do that?
It will. You can't call anything up, can you, Jamie? Can you call up a resolution on the consent agenda? Because we didn't vote on that. We just voted on the consent.
It's not, the two consent items are not in there, it's just this consent.
Oh, okay. We're learning.
Okay.
As of this afternoon, we were still getting software updates. So it just requires a lot of coordination between here, there. So.
Okay.
We were having issues because the request to speak was not lighting up for everyone. So that's why you were having to hold your hands. Yours never lit up. So we're still working out the glitches.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? We are adjourned.
Thank you. I have been incredibly negligent.